Hi everyone, welcome back to the strawberryloli channel. I asked you guys what palette you would like to see me review next, and most of you voted on this one. This is the Lilybyred Mood Keyboard in one of the new Cupid Club color releases. Okay, I got the warm pink. So they have the cool pink and the warm pink, and I opted for the warm pink because I feel like it's just more wearable. Well, both of them are wearable. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of this palette, I think. But this one, I just like the fact that there was a little more like depth to it. It gives you like some more beigey tones and a deeper brown. It's not like you're limited to just pink. So first of all, I love this packaging. You guys know that I will never get sick of a classic clear packaging moment, and this one in particular, I just love how, I mean, the name is Mood Keyboard, right? So it actually, if you look at the way that the shadows sit in the pans, they protrude out of the pans and they are kind of shaped and angled like the actual keys on a keyboard. Think of an old school 90s desktop keyboard, not a MacBook or anything that we have today where the keys are much flatter. Yeah, that part is a really cute touch, and I just love how, even though it's not necessarily a revolutionary thing to have the whole palette be clear, I like how the edges are rounded, so it's very, very comfortable and easy to pick up. It's not gonna cut your hand accidentally. And also I love the fact that like when you just look at it head on, it's like the shadows are suspended in a cube of ice or something. Really satisfying aesthetic for me personally. So I'm going to start off with some eye primer. I actually went ahead and finally picked up the Kaleidos. I was about to say the new Kaleidos. It's new to me, but it's not. It's been around for a while. So the Kaleidos Tone Activator Makeup Primer. I love this box so much. I've always loved Kaleidos's design aesthetic and the colors that they use, but I have to throw this away because we're not holding on to cardboard clutter in 2020. So yeah, this is the Tone Activator Eye Primer. I might try a few other new items in this video, so it might turn out to just be like a get ready with me trying out new things that I picked up, but the main focus is going to be this Mood Keyboard palette. Okay, yeah, that was very easy to put on actually. It spread out across my lids very evenly. It wasn't too watery, but it also wasn't too thick to the point that I couldn't spread it out evenly on my lids. So perfect consistency, perfect shade that matches my skin tone. So now let's get into the eyeshadow application. I did swatch this last week and I put up a shorts on it as kind of like a sneak preview. If you follow me on YouTube or Instagram, you probably already saw that, or you probably already saw from other accounts, right? This seems to be like a semi-viral release as far as Asian makeup goes. I don't think there's that much to say about it. Obviously, I have yet to try it on my eyes, so who knows, it may surprise me in the actual application. But yeah, as far as my experience swatching it, it was pretty much exactly what I expected. Very, very finely milled powders, very moderate color payoff, but even, you know, it's not super pigmented or intense. Definitely a totally different vibe from most Western eyeshadow palettes. But yeah, I do think the most impressive part is that the eyeshadow itself is very, very finely milled to the point where it's almost like flower-like. There's 10 shades in total, 7 of them are matte, and then you have these like topper shimmer shades. So the only one that's kind of a different texture is this one right here, the middle of the top row. This is kind of almost creamy feeling. I'm not the biggest fan of this one, to be honest, because it was, as you can see, I'm having a hard time getting it on my finger. And also the color payoff is not that great. It's just like a very, very sheer, underwhelming pink shimmer. The glitters, on the other hand, I do have higher expectations for. This one, which is like a super chunky, you know, top coat style glitter with more of a flashy silver base. And then this one on the corner here, it's more muted and it seems to have like smaller particles, but it's still very noticeable as far as the shimmery aspect. So I'm gonna start off with this light beige shade down here. See, it's very light in shade, but the color does show up very nicely and opaquely. It's not chalky like some other Asian eyeshadows are. So that makes me very happy straight off the bat, and it's also a testament to how good this Tone Activator primer is. Alright, let me just deepen some stuff up. I might just do like 1, 2, 3 down here, a simple gradient, and then we will finish off the corners with the darkest brown. And then add this one as my glitter topper. Okay, wow, I have to stop and just say that I am really impressed with this top coat glitter. It's more finely milled, like the particles are smaller than most Korean pressed glitters out there, so it gives a very refined appearance. But since there's so many, since it has like multiple colors in it, it's still very reflective. And on top of that, it also adheres very well to the lid, even on top of already laid down several layers of eyeshadow. I feel like most pressed glitters or topper glitter shades I've tried so far, just the ones that come in a pan, not including liquid glitters, they manage to fulfill 2 of those criteria, but rarely ever all 3. So like either it'll be really finely milled and reflective, but it will tend to flake off, or it's like super reflective and it sticks on well, but the particles are really big and chunky, which is not a bad thing at all. But you know, if you're looking for more of that toned down effect, that's not gonna work for you. So case in point, that would be like the glitter pan in this Tap Me Unleashia palette duo. And yeah, the last combination would be it's super finely milled and refined, and it sticks well to the lid, but it's just not that impactful or exciting to look at. She's the least exciting to look at, you know?
She's the least exciting to look at.
Yeah, but this one in the Mood Keyboard palette, look at this. She is understanding the assignment, and you see how I'm layering? I'm on like my 5th layer by now, okay? Just keeping it real. And she is still going on smooth, so this is a very buildable glitter. And she is still going on smooth, still sticking on there like nobody's business, okay? So we love a layerable, refined glitter on this channel. Look at this. I've already pushed this down so much so that the glitter is almost level with the pan, because you know, all the shadows are like sticking out a little bit, but yeah, I can see myself overusing this pan a lot. Okay, now I'm going to put on lashes and eyeliner. For all the crap that I talked about this putty-like shade in the center here, I think I'm actually going to attempt to use this in my inner corner, and also to highlight the tear bag area. I hope this is light enough. It's like rose gold pink. Yeah, this is like a very horror girls version of a Super Shock shadow, but it's okay. We can make it work. Just annoying that I have to layer on so many times, because if I'm trying to make this into my everyday look or something, you know, a girl's got places to go. I don't have time to be sitting here and layering. I'm gonna put some on the bridge of my nose as well. Actually, never mind. Let's not do that. And then finally, I want to put on this tear bag liner by Cezanne. I also have ones by Can Make and other brands, but I think I should stick with just the palette for this video since that's what we're showcasing. So I'm taking this tiny detail brush, grabbing some of the darkest brown shade. I think it'll work with this formula because so far it's proving to be very like, oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not there's not a lot of fallout with this formula, which is another great thing. There is quite a bit of kick up in the pan, but that's only because I poke around really aggressively with my brushes. If you're more of a gentle-handed person, I don't think you'll experience as much as I did. Okay, yeah, see, I think the shadow was the perfect call because this also looks a lot less harsh than a liquid tear bag liner. I get away with my liquid tear bag liners on camera because the camera dulls everything, but sometimes when I'm out and about and I did my tear bag effect with a liquid liner that day, I'll catch a glimpse of myself in a department store mirror and be like, wow, you should have double checked before you left your house today, girl. Okay, I'm going to speed through liner, mascara, and lashes. I'm using this Miche Blooming lash that I got from Daiso. You see how the eyelash hairs are very light brown, almost blonde looking? Yeah, I picked out this lash on purpose because this is a new technique that I kind of stumbled on that I think is kind of slaying. So I'll put on these blonde lashes, right? And it has a clear lash band. So when I first apply it, it looks blonde. It looks weird because it doesn't match the rest of my hair. But then I'll curl it and do everything as if it was just my natural lashes, and then I'll put mascara on these blonde fake lashes and it looks more real that way. I know it sounds like it doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you just get black tinted false eyelashes in the first place? But I'm telling you, it looks more realistic, okay? Because it's like your mascara is actually coating lashes that would otherwise look very blonde or almost clear, and so the final effect, it looks like mascara on real lashes, okay? Just trust me on this one. While I wait for the eyelash glue to completely dry there, I'm gonna go ahead and do my lips. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this, I think it's still a relatively new release, This is the Glasting Melting Balm by Rom&nd in the color 01 Cocoa Nude. Someone actually purchased this off of my Amazon wishlist for me, so thank you so much. You know who you are. I am literally obsessed with this already. This is one of those products that just turned out exactly the way I imagined it, even down to the scent, weirdly enough. Like, it has this really fresh, almost fruity scent. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm in love with it. It could stand to be a tiny bit more subtle, I will say, but again, I don't mind at all because I like this scent. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but definitely some type of fruit. And then also just the formula itself, it is just like the creamiest, meltiest tinted balm ever. It's actually like almost too melty. It reminds me of that that viral lipstick or a tinted balm, whatever it's called, by, I think it was Hourglass, I'm not really sure, or Charlotte Tilbury. Yeah, I think it's Hourglass, the Phantom Volumizing Balm. I've never tried this Hourglass product, so I have no idea if it's really that similar or not, but by the looks of it, and also by other people's reviews on how melty and just glossy that one is, I feel like this is in the same camp. But I like this one better because, like, honestly, I prefer the thicker, what's it called, circumference. It's the same thickness as a regular chapstick, and I feel like that fits my lips better than the thinner ones like that Hourglass lip tint. But yeah, anyway, it feels super like sticky at first because the moment you touch it to your skin, it just melts and glides right on. So you almost have to be like, you have to be a little careful. You have to be ready, you know, for this thing to glomp onto your lips. Even if you use a light hand, it's just gonna glide on there immediately. It's almost like, I feel like it's one of those, not liquidy, but super emollient lip balms that come in a jar in a stick form. And I think that's also why they designed it so that it doesn't twist up a lot at once. So you see how I'm twisting it like super fast, but it's only coming out a tiny fraction of a millimeter at a time. It does twist back down, so don't worry. But yeah, I feel like this is one of those products where you only need to twist out the tiniest bit because it's just gonna melt right onto your lips that way. The only con is the packaging gets dirty so quickly because the product is so soft. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this. I want at least 3 more shades. Possibly I'm considering getting the whole line and swatching all of them for you. Let me know if that's something that you're interested in. I think the eyelash glue is dry now, so we're going to go ahead and do my innovative new technique, putting black mascara on blonde fake eyelashes. Yes. You see how realistic that looks? What did I tell you? You need to trust me on these things, okay? I'm an OG over here in the Asian makeup game. Okay, we're almost there, guys. We are almost there. You know that anticipation you get when you're like almost completely done with your makeup and ready to step out in the world?
I see you shiver with anticipation.
I'm just gonna remove a little bit of the shadow in the corner here so that there's like a white space. This Q-tip is dipped in a little bit of makeup remover. I might go over that too with this creamy, poor excuse for a Super Shock shadow that I was hating on in the beginning. But just to keep the cohesiveness with the inner corner and then emphasize the brown line on the bottom a little more. That's perfect. Okay, last step. So I have one last trick that I want to show you guys. So for blush, lately I've been obsessed with pink blush, pink everything. I really have just been falling back in love with this Text Me blush by ColourPop. This is from last year's Valentine's collection, so this formula is actually really good. The new heart blushes that they came out with for this recent 2023 Valentine's Day collection, that is a whole separate story. We're gonna revisit that in another video that I have about products that I don't recommend. A de-influencing video, I think that's what I'm gonna do pretty soon. But you know, the good thing about that fiasco is that it reminded me that I still own this really beautiful hot magenta pink Text Me blush that actually is very pigmented and very smooth, works very well. I'm like, why do I not wear this more often, you know? Especially now, this year, I feel like it's the perfect time because the Pantone color of the year is Viva Magenta, which is like the color of my life actually, so you can have it for this year, but I'm gonna need that back when we're done with 2023. So yeah, the thing is, if I only apply this blush across my bare cheeks, or even though like I have a little bit of concealer on today, it can look a little bit harsh and jarring. It can very easily veer into that 80s overdone neon blush territory, which I'm not exactly going for these days. I want more of like a Douyin doll type look. So what I figured out is that if I layer this on top of a lighter blush, and the one that I love to use is the Peripera Morning Blush, or no, Sunshine Cheek in 06 Morning Blush. Can you believe I almost decluttered this at one point because it just was not mixing well with some of my other powder blushes that I tried to combine with it. So I purposely, I did want to have like a really pale pink blush color. So it's not the shade that was the problem, but with other blushes, like even with other Peripera blushes from this same line, when I would try to layer them on top of this, they would not show up on top of this powder. But with the ColourPop blush formula though, it does show up. So I'm so glad that I found a way to actually get use out of this color. So what I do is, as you can see, I'm just like liberally applying across my entire cheeks. I'm sure this is not like the very best light pink, powdery pink blush out there on the market. There are other brands that do this better. I think since it's what I have, I want to use it up if possible, and it seems to work well underneath the ColourPop blushes, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Okay, so then what I do is that I will apply a little bit of this, like very carefully, being careful with the placement, on top of that light porcelain pink, and then I'm gonna concentrate it like underneath the eyes, right, giving myself that really flushed drunk look is what they call it in Japan. You see it's showing up really pigmented. It's so weird, like other blushes won't show up against this Peripera blush. It's just this particular shade, I don't know, it's just so bright and milky that it like repels the color of a lot of other blushes that I try to layer on top. But this Text Me one is a perfect match. And then, okay, I feel like it is a little patchy, but that's okay, because you know what, I can just go back over it with another light layer of this, and I can just like keep blending until I hit that sweet spot. And you see how cute that looks when you layer these two blushes on top of each other? You get that really like bold quality of this hot magenta pink blush, but then because it's layered on top of this really light porcelain looking blush, it looks like it's more natural, like your cheeks are just naturally flushed from the cold, as opposed to like you're about to appear in an 80s music video. So yeah, I just realized that this is maybe just blush layering, which I can't claim that I invented that entire technique. But you know, the thing is, I never thought of using it with these two colors, because either one of these, when I use them alone, it just doesn't look quite right on my face or against my skin tone. But when I mix them together, that's when the magic happens, okay? You gotta like experiment with your stuff, you know? Don't be afraid to mix things together, layer stuff on top of each other. You know, for me in particular, it's hard because mainly just because of the time factor. Who has time to sit there and combine different makeup products and techniques and go through trial and error for however many hours? But you know, if you have a gut feeling about something, like maybe I should try this and that, even though this is not a technique or anything that I've seen demonstrated before, if you have a gut feeling that maybe this is gonna work for me, just go for it, okay? Provided that you're not going to anything super important that day, like a life-changing meeting or something. Just use your best judgment is what I'm saying. But yeah, I am loving this blush combo in particular lately, and the look today overall, I must say, I'm really impressed. I'm gonna be honest, I like this nude keyboard a lot better than I initially expected, mostly because the colors, I just felt like, you know, it's the same old color story over and over again. Oh, I almost forgot, I did swatch this against the Romnd Daily Mood Up palette for you guys. So I had this one is in 01 Soft Mauve Pink. Shade wise, as you can see, they are very similar. I mean, this type of natural brownie pink, soft, moody color variation is very typical in Asia to begin with. So, you know, you can never go wrong with it per se. Like, it's always gonna be the safe bet for an everyday makeup look. But it's also just like very boring to me, because how much can you really do with this? Especially because most people over here, if they're even wearing makeup at all, this is literally the only style that I see 99% of girls do in public. So that was like, I just felt that it would be hard to get too excited over this Lilybyred palette. But I will say I really enjoyed the application process using this. Color-wise, it is very similar to the Romnd, but I would say the formula in the Lilybyred is definitely a lot better. This one comes off a little bit more chalky, if I'm gonna be honest, while this one is actually, like, even though the shades are still very soft and muted, the shadows themselves do go on very buttery, and they blend really, really well. This is probably one of the smoothest gradations that I've ever been able to achieve. And also I love the fact that the dark brown shade here, I had no problem using this as a tear bag liner because again, the formula is just ever so slightly more emollient and smoother than the Romnd. So I was able to create a precision, even a really thin line with it. That's all I have for you guys today. Let me know if you're interested in picking up any of these products or if you've already tried them for yourself. Just FYI, I do have a rewards code with YesStyle if you're interested in purchasing any of the items that I talked about today. It is just Berry Gang in all caps, and you will want to enter that into the rewards code line, not the coupon code line. It's only 5% off, but you know, it helps the channel if you feel so inclined. If you're not comfortable, then by all means keep shopping the way that you are used to. I am actually kind of surprised that the Lilybyred Mood Keyboard Cupid's Club ones, not just the regular ones, are already available on YesStyle. Usually when it's a newer release, I feel like YesStyle is slower to have that available, but yeah, if you look on it on the site now, it is there. So I will link the products that I can find down below in the description box, and you can shop directly through those links as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!